More than 1 in 3 seniors over 65 struggle with weak legs, and many don't even know why. Could the meat on your plate be silently draining your strength? Your legs aren't just for walking, they're your independence. But what if the foods you've trusted for years are actually weakening the very muscles that keep you standing tall? 1. Processed deli meats left too long, a hidden risk on your plate. Have you ever left a package of ham or sliced turkey in the fridge for a few days longer than you intended and then eaten it anyway? Most of us have. It still smells fine, it still looks fine. But for older adults, even that one buy date can be secretly wreaking havoc on your feet. You see, deli meats like ham, turkey, or bologna once opened become susceptible to something your eyes and nose don't always detect. An overgrowth of low-level bacteria, specifically Listeria monocytogenes. Unlike other bacteria, Listeria thrives even in the fridge, and while it may not make you seriously ill, in older adults it can cause mild inflammation. What does that do? Over time, it impairs blood circulation and muscle responsiveness, especially in your feet. Many older adults don't realize this connection. They just notice heavier legs after meals, slightly stiff joints, more cramps when walking, or even a few days of lethargy or loss of balance and assume it's just aging. But what if it's not? What if it's that half-eaten package of deli meat that's been sitting in the back of the fridge since last Thursday? The danger here isn't the deli meat itself, but how long we keep it and where we buy it. Pre-sliced packages from questionable vendors, improperly stored meat at the deli counter, or leaving it open for more than 2 to 3 days all increase the risk of contamination. And that contamination isn't always obvious, but it's slowly eating away at your body, especially the parts you rely on to stand, walk, and move. So what can you do? Keep it simple. Buy from clean, trusted stores. Eat within 48 hours of opening. Or switch to fresh chicken or turkey that you cook and slice yourself. Your legs are counting on you. And small choices in the kitchen today can lead to steady, confident steps tomorrow. Comment 1. If you've ever kept deli meat in the fridge for more than 3 days and still ate it, you're not alone. But even if you're careful with cold meats at home, the next risk might come hot and crispy from fried foods you thought were harmless. 2. Fried meats cooked in old oil, the trap you didn't see coming. Well, tell me, how many times have you bought fried chicken from a roadside stand, a food court, or a quick frozen package at home just because it's easier than cooking? Now ask yourself, do you know what kind of oil they use to fry it, or how many times they reuse that batch? The problem is, many places reuse cooking oil beyond safe levels. Over time, oil exposed to repeated high temperatures breaks down, becomes rancid, and becomes filled with toxic compounds. These aren't just empty galleries. They're irritants to your blood vessels and nerves. Older adults, who already have sensitive circulation or slow recovery, are even more vulnerable. The damage isn't obvious, it's cumulative. At first you notice your legs tire faster after dinner. Walking to the mailbox feels heavier. A flight of stairs that used to be easy becomes a slow effort. Stiff, heavy feeling in your calves. It's not always arthritis. Sometimes it's just your blood struggling to circulate after a meal fried in depleted oil. The situation is worse when fried meat is bought from street vendors, buffets, or fast food trucks, where you have no idea how long the oil has been in use. Even reheating leftovers at home in the microwave doesn't eliminate the damage. Worst of all, these meals often look golden, crispy, and fresh. But what you're eating is often loaded with inflammatory irritants that silently destroy the muscles in your lower extremities. But don't worry, you don't have to give up the taste of fried food forever. Instead, try air frying at home in fresh oil or grilling with a crispy coating. Choose lean cuts of meat like chicken breast and avoid meat from takeout restaurants of dubious origin. Your legs will thank you with strength that won't disappear after lunch. 3. Bacon and sausages gone stale when familiar smells fool your legs. Maybe you'll leave a package of sausage or bacon in the fridge, open it for breakfast, and then rewrap it for later. But by the third or fourth day, whatever's left in that wrapper isn't the same as when you bought it. Bacon, exposed to air even inside your fridge, begins to oxidize. If moisture gets into the package or it's slightly exposed, harmful bacteria can quietly grow. A 2023 CDC report noted that Listeria monocytogenes, a bacteria commonly found in improperly stored deli meats and bacon, is still active at refrigerator temperatures. Older adults are particularly susceptible to mild infections from this bacteria, which can lead to chronic inflammation and muscle fatigue. What does that mean for your feet? Small changes like stiff knees after breakfast or slower movements after sitting may be due to more than just aging. Repeated exposure to improperly stored bacon has been linked to increased inflammatory markers, nerve responses, and joint mobility in older adults. It's not about banning bacon, it's about the little details. If you're storing it, use an airtight glass container, not the flimsy packaging it came in. Avoid buying sliced hot dogs from open shelves if you're not going to eat them that day. And don't reheat anything that's been sitting out for hours. Switch to single-serving portions or alternate with softer proteins like hard-boiled eggs or grilled fish when your muscles are already under the strain of age changes. Don't let yesterday's bacon become another potential burden. Comment 3. If your legs have ever felt heavier after a bacon-filled breakfast, this might explain why. And while bacon brings comfort in the kitchen, red meats from unknown sources may carry a silent strain you never saw coming. 4. Unlabeled red meat from unknown sources. What you don't know can strain your legs. You buy a cut of beef at a discount at your local grocery store. No label, no country of origin, no date of manufacture, just a plastic bag and a cheap price. For many, it's a daily habit. But over time, it could be costing your feet more than you think. Red meat without a clear country of origin label, especially cuts that are kept in open spaces or sold without refrigeration, is at a higher risk of bacterial contamination. According to the USDA, improperly handled red meat is a common source of E. coli, Campylobacter, and Clostridium perfringens germs that may not cause serious illness but can silently disrupt your immune system. For older adults, even mild bacterial stress can become a chronic burden. The body must devote resources to fighting off low-level invaders, leaving less energy for muscle repair. Over weeks or months, this contributes to slower recovery, longer soreness after walking, and slower healing of wounds or injuries. You might think it's just aging, but it's probably the meat you eat. Don't cut out red meat completely, just make better choices. Look for USDA-inspected packaging if possible. If you buy unlabeled fresh meat, make sure it comes from clean, sanitary stalls. Store meat below 40 DEGF and cook it to an internal temperature of 160 DEGF to neutralize bacterial threats. Your feet support your freedom. Don't let a cheap, unknown steak silently erode that. 5. Grilled meats from outdoor vendors. Heat, smoke, and hidden risks to your legs. You're at a weekend fair, a local park. You pick up a kebab from a street vendor, easy, hot, and delicious. But do you know how long it's been sitting outside before it's been grilled? Or how many times that oil brush has been used? Outdoor vendors often operate with limited sanitation oversight. Grills may not reach safe temperatures, grease traps may not be cleaned, and meat may be left out in the sun longer than recommended. The World Health Organization warns that street food is a growing source of mild gastrointestinal inflammation, especially in older adults. This exposure doesn't always lead to food poisoning, but repeated low-level inflammation affects how your body heals, especially your legs. After these meals, you may experience stiff knees, swollen calves, or a slight loss of coordination while hiking. Over time, this can be not only uncomfortable, but also detrimental to your stability. You don't have to give up barbecue altogether, but choose wisely. If you buy from a vendor, choose skewers that are freshly grilled, not reheated. Watch for clean tongs, gloves, and high grill temperatures. At home, try grilling in the oven or on a grill, and always pair yours with greens or fiber-rich beans. This will help reduce inflammation and support your body. You rely on your feet every day. Don't let a quick bite in the sun throw you off track. Comment 5 if you've reheated canned meat in the microwave without thinking twice and now realize it may be affecting your legs. The overload combo: too much meat, too little water, and the quiet toll on your legs. You probably avoid bacon or fried foods. But another issue is easy to overlook: how often you eat meat and how little you balance it with water and fiber. For many older adults, meat appears at almost every meal: eggs and sausage for breakfast, ham sandwiches for lunch, beef or pork for dinner. The habit builds up slowly, and when those meals aren't accompanied by enough water or vegetables, your body doesn't have the support it needs to process that protein efficiently. Here's what happens. High protein intake without enough water increases uric acid levels in your blood. According to the National Kidney Foundation, excess uric acid can cause joint pain, leg cramps, and swelling, especially as kidney function slows with age. Dehydration also thickens your blood, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach the muscles in your lower extremities. Add to that a deficiency in potassium and magnesium, which are often found in high-fiber foods, and you have the perfect recipe for tired legs. You may notice heaviness in your thighs, stiffness after sitting, or muscle weakness after a short walk. These signs often go unrecognized and are dismissed as aging. To fix this, change the way you structure your meals and your fluid intake. For every meat-centric meal, double your fiber intake, adding spinach, sweet potatoes, or beans. And drink water regularly throughout the day, not just with meals. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water, herbal tea, or water-rich foods like cucumbers and oranges. When your body is hydrated and balanced, your legs will respond better, recover faster, bear weight better, and feel more stable under you. When you cut back on the wrong meats and start treating your legs like the foundation they truly are, you give your body a chance to recover step by step. Less swelling, fewer cramps, better balance, and stronger mobility can all begin with small changes on your plate. It's never too late to shift the way you eat, drink, and move. So start by drinking more water, checking in with your doctor, and paying closer attention to how your meals make your legs feel afterward. And if this video from HEALZO helped you see things differently, follow our channel, share it with someone you care about, and take your next step toward living stronger right now.